but cannot remember last name. Child appears disoriented, possible concussion. Admitted for observation and treatment. The hospital had called social services that night. Emma Rodriguez was taken into emergency foster care on July 18, 1999. The FBI traced the foster care records through the Florida Department of Children and Families. Emma was placed with an emergency foster family, the Hendersons, for 3 weeks while social workers tried to identify her. They ran her information through missing children data, but there was a catastrophic failure in the system. Emma was entered as Emma, last name unknown, abandoned at hospital. At the same time, Emma Rodriguez was in the system as missing from Disney World, possible abduction. The two entries were never cross-referenced. Part of the problem was Emma's appearance. By the time she was photographed for foster care records, she looked different. The hospital had cut her hair short to clean the wound on her head. She was no longer wearing her Cinderella dress. The sparkle was gone from her eyes, replaced by trauma and confusion. The social worker showed Emma photos of missing children, including her own photo from Disney World. Emma looked at her own picture and didn't recognize herself. "Is this you?" the social worker asked. Emma shook her head. "I don't think so." The head injury had affected her memory. She had fragments. She remembered her mother, but couldn't remember her mother's name. She remembered Disney, but couldn't remember why she was there or what happened. The trauma had essentially reset her. After 6 weeks of trying to find Emma's family with no success, she was placed into the adoption system. In September 1999, Emma Rodriguez was legally adopted by Michael and Jennifer Patterson. No relation to David Patterson, a couple from Atlanta, Georgia. They'd been trying to have children for 8 years. Multiple failed fertility treatments. They'd been on the adoption waiting list for 2 years. When they met Emma, they fell in love immediately. She was so sweet, Jennifer would later say, so gentle. But there was this sadness in her eyes, this lost quality. We knew she'd been through trauma. We wanted to give her a safe, loving home. They renamed her Sarah Michelle Patterson. They told her they were her parents. At 6 years old, with fragmented memories and a desperate need for stability, Emma, now Sarah, accepted this as truth. The Pattersons were good people. They loved Sarah deeply. They gave her a good life. Therapy to deal with her trauma, a stable home, a good education. Sarah grew up believing she was Sarah Patterson, that she'd been adopted as a baby. The Pattersons told her she was adopted. They believed in honesty, but they told her they didn't know anything about her biological parents. They weren't lying maliciously. They truly didn't know. The adoption agency had told them Sarah was abandoned. No family could be located. That was all the information they had. Sarah had a good childhood. She went to a good school. She made friends. She played soccer. She learned piano. But she always felt like something was missing, like there was a piece of her identity she couldn't access. She had strange dreams sometimes. A woman's face, a castle, music, but she could never quite grasp the memories. In 2019, Sarah was 26 years old. She was a second-grade teacher at an elementary school in Atlanta. She was married to a man named Daniel Mitchell. She was 6 months pregnant with her first child. Her life was happy, normal, complete, until August 15th, 2019, when 2 FBI agents knocked on her door. Special Agent Chun and Detective Morrison stood on Sarah Patterson Mitchell's doorstep. Sarah opened the door, confused. "Can I help you? Are you Sarah Mitchell, formerly Sarah Patterson?" Chun asked gently. "Yes," Why? What's wrong? Ma'am, may we come in? We have some information we need to share with you. You should probably sit down. Sarah's husband, Daniel, came to the door. What's this about, Mr. Mitchell? Mrs. Mitchell, I'm Special Agent Robert Chung with the FBI. This is Detective James Morrison. We have some information about Mrs. Mitchell's identity. Information that's going to be difficult to hear. They sat in Sarah's living room. Sarah was frightened. Her hand instinctively went to her pregnant belly, protective. Am I in trouble? She asked. No, you're not in trouble. But we need to tell you something about who you are, about where you came from. Robert Chun took a deep breath and began. Mrs. Mitchell, you were born September 12, 1993. Your birth name was Emma Isabella Rodriguez. You lived in Tampa, Florida with your mother. Maria Rodriguez. Sarah stared at him. What? No. I'm Sarah Patterson. I was adopted as a baby. My parents told me. I know what your parents told you, and they told you what they believed to be true. But we've recently uncovered information that changes everything. In July 1999, when you were 6 years old, you went to Disney World with your mother. You disappeared. For 20 years, your disappearance has been one of the most famous unsolved missing children cases in America. Sarah shook her head. That can't be right. I don't remember any of this. You were injured. You hit your head. The trauma affected your memory. But Mrs. Mitchell, Emma, you were found. You were placed in foster care, and you were adopted by the Pattersons. But you were never supposed to be adopted. There was a system failure. You should have been reunited with your mother. Daniel held his wife's hand. This is insane. You're saying my wife is a missing child from 20 years ago. Yes, we've confirmed it through records, through testimony, and we'd like to confirm it with a DNA test if you're willing. Sarah was crying. I don't quote T. I don't understand. You're saying I have a mother out there, a Heo mother. A biological mother who's been looking for me. Yes, Maria Rodriguez has been searching for you for 20 years. She never gave up. She never stopped believing you were alive. Where is she? Does she know you found me? She knows, and she wants to see you, but only if you want to see her. This is your choice, Emma. I'm sorry, Sarah. We know this is overwhelming. Sarah looked at her husband, looked at the FBI agents, looked down at her pregnant belly. I'm having a baby in 3 months. I'm about to be a mother. And you're telling me I have a mother who's been searching for me for 20 years? Yes. Sarah wiped her tears. I want to meet her. I need to meet her. When? When can I meet my mother? 48 00-50. A reunião e o encerramento música atinge pico emocional October 3, 2019. The FBI arranged the reunion at their Orlando field office. Maria Rodriguez arrived early. She was shaking. Carmen was with her for support. What if she hates me? Maria whispered. What if she blames me for letting her go to the bathroom alone? What if she doesn't want a relationship with me? She won't hate you, Carmen said. You didn't do anything wrong. You've spent 20 years searching for her. She'll understand that. But Maria was terrified. Robert Chung briefed her one more time. Maria, remember, Emma doesn't remember you. She doesn't remember her life before the adoption. To her, the Pattersons are her parents. This is going to be complicated. Take it slow. Let her set the pace. I understand. I just ... I just need to see her. I need to see my baby. At 2 p.m., Sarah arrived with her husband Daniel and her adoptive parents, Michael and Jennifer Patterson. The Pattersons had been devastated to learn the truth. They'd unknowingly raised a child who had been stolen from her mother by a system failure. We didn't know, Jennifer kept saying. We would never. If we'd known she had a mother searching for her, we never would have ... But there was no blame. They'd done nothing wrong. They'd given Emma Sarah a good life, a loving home. Sarah was nervous. 6 months pregnant, about to meet a mother she didn't remember. Robert Chum brought Maria into the room first. Then he brought Sarah in. Maria saw her daughter for the first time in 20 years. She would have recognized her anywhere. Those eyes, that face. Her baby, all grown up. Maria's legs nearly gave out. Carmen held her steady. Sarah looked at this woman, this stranger who was supposedly her mother, and something inside her shifted, like a door opening in her mind. Not a memory, exactly, but a feeling, a recognition. Hi, Sarah said softly. Hi, Maria whispered back, tears streaming down her face. They stood there for a moment, just looking at each other. Then Maria said, Can I hug you? Sarah nodded. Maria crossed the room, wrapped her arms around her daughter. 20 years. 20 years of searching. 20 years of hoping. 20 years of praying. And now, finally, she was holding her daughter again. Sarah didn't remember this woman, but something about the hug felt. ... Right? Familiar. Safe. She started crying. Not sure why, just overwhelmed by emotion. I'm sorry, Sarah said. I'm sorry, I don't remember you. It's okay, Maria whispered. It's okay, baby. It's not your fault. None of this is your fault. They sat down, talked for 3 hours. Maria showed Sarah photos. Emma as a baby. Emma as a toddler. Emma at 5 years old, at her birthday party. Emma that morning at Disney World. So happy, so excited. Sarah stared at the photos. That's me. That's you. That's my Emma. I'm sorry, Sarah said again. I wish I remembered. I wish I could remember you. You were so young, and you were hurt. It's okay that you don't remember. We'll make new memories. If you want to, I mean. I don't want to pressure you. Sarah looked at her husband, then at her adoptive parents, then back at Maria. I want to know you. I want to understand where I came from. But my parents, ... Singua. She gestured to the Pattersons. They're my parents too. They raised me. They love me. Maria looked at Michael and Jennifer Patterson. I'm grateful to you, Maria said. You gave my daughter a good life. You loved her. You protected her. I'll always be grateful for that. Jennifer was crying. We didn't know. We're so sorry. I know this isn't your fault either. Nobody's to blame except the system that failed us and the man who made terrible choices 20 years ago. David Patterson had been arrested on August 13, 2019. Immediately after his confession, he was charged with child endangerment, kidnapping, and obstruction of justice. He pled guilty to all charges in November 2019. Due to his terminal cancer, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison but released to hospice care immediately. He died on January 8, 2020. Before he died, he wrote letters, one to Maria, one to Emma, Sarah, one to the Pattersons. Sarah read her letter alone. Dear Sarah, Emma, I don't deserve your forgiveness. I destroyed your life and your mother's life because I was a coward. I hope you've had a good life. I hope your adoptive parents gave you the love you deserved. I'm sorry. Those words are inadequate, but they're all I have. I hope someday you can forgive me, not for my sake. I don't deserve forgiveness, but for yours, so you can move forward without anger weighing you down. David Patterson. Sarah thought about it for a long time. Then she wrote back, Mr. Patterson, what you did was terrible. You made choices that hurt me and hurt my mother in ways that can never be fully repaired. But I also know that you came forward. You told the truth when you didn't have to. You gave my biological mother closure after 20 years. I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I choose not to carry anger. I hope you find peace. Sarah. Today, in 2025, Sarah maintains relationships with both families. She calls Maria once a week. They visit each other several times a year. Maria has become a grandmother, Sarah's daughter. Hope was born in December 2019. Sarah also remains close with her adoptive parents. They're all one extended, complicated, beautiful family. Sarah still doesn't remember her life as Emma Rodriguez. The memories are gone, lost to trauma and time, but she knows her story now. She knows where she came from. She knows that she was loved, that she was searched for, that she was never forgotten. Maria's foundation, Emma's Hope, continues its work, helping families of missing children. And every year, on July 17th, Maria and Sarah go to Disney World together. They stand outside Magic Kingdom, not protesting, not searching, just remembering the little girl in the Cinderella dress who vanished, and celebrating the woman she became. This was the story of Emma Rodriguez, the 6-year-old who disappeared at Disney World, the mother who never stopped searching, and the miracle reunion 20 years in the making. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Missing Innocence. Share this video. Leave a comment, because every missing child deserves to be found. Every family deserves closure, and every story deserves to be told. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm your host. And remember, never give up hope. Miracles do happen. This is Missing Innocence.